The blast door shook hard enough to rattle Logan's teeth. He dropped the plasma wrench and grabbed his sidearm, eyes locked on the entrance to his salvage bay. Nobody knocked out here. Not on Outpost Keller. Not 300 miles from the nearest settlement on a moon that officially didn't exist. The door shook again, deliberate, controlled. Logan moved to the wall panel and pulled up the external feed. His breath caught. A woman stood outside in full combat armor. Not the cheap colony defense stuff, real armor. Crystalline plating that shimmered with active shielding. Gauntlets that hummed with enough power to punch through a bulkhead. The kind of gear you saw on recruitment posters for the Terran Vanguard, humanity's most elite fighting force. Her helmet retracted with a smooth hiss, folding back into the collar. Dark hair pulled tight. Sharp features. Eyes that had seen things burn. She looked directly at the camera. Logan Cross. I know you're in there. I need your help. His hand tightened on the gun. Nobody knew his real name. He'd buried it under 3 false identities and 2 decades of running salvage in forgotten systems. You have 10 seconds to open this door, she said, or I open it myself. Logan cycled the airlock. The inner door slid open, and she stepped through, armor plates shifting with predatory grace. She was tall, taller than him by 2 inches, and he wasn't short. How do you know my name? I know everything about you. She moved past him into the bay, scanning the space like she owned it, dishonorably discharged from the Colonial Marines, suspected of selling military-grade tech to independent stations, wanted in 4 systems for smuggling restricted artifacts. Get out! She turned to face him. I need you to steal something. Logan almost laughed. You're Vanguard. You don't need smugglers. I'm not Vanguard anymore. She reached up and tapped the insignia on her chest plate. It flickered and died, going dark. As of 6 hours ago, I'm a traitor to the Terran Alliance. My name is Kate Brennan, and the item I need you to steal is sitting in the most secure facility humanity has ever built.
Not interested.
The Vrex are coming, she said quietly. Logan froze. The Vrex. Humanity had been at war with them for 8 years, losing for 6 of those years. Planets burned, colonies glassed, fleets scattered like dust. They've found Earth, Kate continued. The Admiralty knows. They're not evacuating. They're not fighting. They're running. The entire High Command is abandoning the homeworld in 72 hours. You're insane. The facility I need you to hit contains the one weapon that might stop them. A prototype the scientists kept buried because it scared them more than the Vrex. She stepped closer. I can't do this alone. You're the best thief still breathing. Help me save 8 billion people. Logan stared at her. Then he holstered his gun. Talk. Kate pulled the data chip from her gauntlet and slammed it onto Logan's workbench. The holo projector flickered to life, casting blue light across rusted hull panels and scattered tools. The facility rotated in the air between them, massive, orbital, ringed with defense platforms that could vaporize a capital ship. The Gehenna Station, Kate said. Research black site. Officially, it doesn't exist. Unofficially, it's where the Alliance tests weapons too dangerous for public knowledge. Logan circled the projection. I've heard rumors, never believed them. Believe them now. The weapon is called Prometheus Protocol, self-replicating nanite swarm with a quantum targeting matrix. It can disassemble matter at the molecular level and reassemble it into anything programmed into its core. She zoomed in on a section deep inside the station. It's locked in Vault 7, beneath 400 meters of reinforced titanium and active countermeasures. Countermeasures? automated turrets, laser grids, pressure-sensitive floors, biometric scanners every 20 meters, and a security AI that adapts in real time to intrusion attempts. Kate glanced at him. The designers assumed no human could reach the vault. They were right. Then how do you expect me to? She smiled without warmth. Because you're not going in as yourself. Kate swiped through the projection until a personnel file appeared. A man in a white lab coat, middle-aged, tired eyes behind wire-frame glasses, Dr. Nathan Pierce, lead researcher on the Prometheus project. He has clearance to every level of Gehenna Station. Kate pulled up a second image. Pierce's body on a morgue slab. He died 3 days ago. Heart failure. Natural causes. The station hasn't updated their security protocols yet. Logan studied the dead man's face. You want me to impersonate a corpse? I want you to become him. Biometric scanners read DNA markers, retinal patterns, and neural signatures. I have tech that can spoof all three for 6 hours. 6 hours? After that, your cells start rejecting the overlay. You'll experience organ failure, followed by brain death. She said it like she was reading a weather report. We get in, grab the weapon, and get out in 5 hours. Plenty of margin. And if something goes wrong, then you die screaming. Kate killed the projection, but Earth dies either way, so you might as well take the risk. Logan walked to the far end of the bay where a battered cargo hauler sat on landing struts. He'd modified it over the years. Reinforced hull, military-grade engines, shielding he'd pulled from a derelict warship. Why me? He asked without turning. Why not someone from your old unit? Someone you trust? Everyone I trusted is dead or compromised. Command found out I knew about the evacuation. They sent a kill squad to my quarters. I barely made it out. Her voice hardened. I need someone with no loyalty to the Alliance. Someone who doesn't give a damn about orders or protocols. Someone angry enough to burn it all down if it means doing the right thing. Logan turned to face her. You read my file that carefully? I read between the lines. You didn't desert because you were a coward. You left because they ordered you to fire on civilians. Refugees from the outer colonies trying to reach Alliance space. Command called them potential Vrex collaborators. Kate crossed her arms. You refused. They court-martialed you, stripped your rank, erased your service record. They erased everything. Not everything. You're still alive, still fighting in your own way. She stepped closer. This is your chance to hit back, to make every bastard who abandoned you pay for what they've done. Logan considered it. The anger was still there, always there, buried under years of survival and cynicism, but never gone. When do we leave? 30 minutes. We need to reach Gehenna before the evacuation fleet launches. After that, the station goes into lockdown and nothing gets in or out. What about extraction? We grab this weapon, and then what? Kate's expression went cold. Then I broadcast what the Alliance has done to every colony still fighting. Show them that command is running while soldiers die holding the line. The fleet will fracture, some will desert, others will mutiny. Chaos. That'll weaken our defenses. Our defenses are already gone. The Vrex will reach Earth in 96 hours. The only thing that stops them is Prometheus. She met his eyes. Are you in or not? Logan grabbed his jacket from a wall hook and checked the charge on his sidearm. Let's go steal a doomsday weapon. The approach to Gehenna Station should have killed them. Kate piloted the hauler through a debris field thick enough to shred hull plating. Chunks of destroyed ships tumbled past the viewports. Some pieces still had markings. Colonial frigates, independent traders, anyone who'd gotten too close to the black site and never left. "Defense grid is live," Kate said, eyes locked on the scanner. 3 platforms tracking us, weapons hot. Logan sat in the co-pilot seat, hands steady despite the sweat on his palms. "Your clearance codes better work. They're not my codes. They're Pierce's. Pulled them from his personal terminal before it got wiped." She transmitted the sequence. "If security flagged his death, we're about to get vaporized." The scanner pulsed once, twice. Green acknowledgement flashed across the screen. The nearest defense platform powered down its cannons and drifted back into standby position. The others followed. "We're cleared for docking bay 7, Kate said. "Automated system. No guards?" "No guards means cameras. Already handled. I'm looping the feeds as we dock. They'll see an empty bay until we're inside." She guided the hauler between 2 massive hull sections and into a cavernous docking structure. Magnetic clamps engaged with metallic thuds. Logan stood and moved to the cargo hold, where Kate had laid out the equipment. A silver case sat open on the deck. Inside were 2 syringes filled with luminescent fluid and a neural interface crown that looked like it belonged in a torture chamber. Kate stripped off her armor plates and pulled on a maintenance uniform, baggy, nondescript, the kind worn by station technicians who blended into walls. "Put this on," she said, tossing Logan a similar uniform. "Once the biospoofing activates, you'll look like Pierce to every scanner. But to human eyes, you're still you. So we avoid people." Logan changed quickly and sat in the designated chair. Kate lifted the first syringe. "This rewrites your surface-level genetic markers. It's going to hurt." She injected it into his neck. Fire spread through his veins. Logan's vision widened out, and he gripped the armrests hard enough to dent metal. His skin crawled like insects were burrowing beneath it. Bones ached. Muscles spasmed. "Breathe through it," Kate said without sympathy. 10 more seconds. The pain peaked and crashed. Logan gasped and tasted copper. Kate held up the neural crown. "This maps Pierce's brainwave patterns onto yours. His memories won't transfer, but his neural signature will. Security AI reads thoughts more than DNA." She placed the crown on his head. Needles pierced his scalp and sank into his skull. The world tilted sideways. Logan saw flashes of another life. Sterile labs. Equations scrolling across screens. A woman's face he didn't recognize, but somehow knew. Pierce's wife, dead in the Vrex bombardment of Titan Station. Then it stopped. Logan stood on shaking legs and looked at his hands. They looked normal, felt normal, but the scanner on Kate's wrist showed a different face when she aimed it at him. Pierce's tired eyes stared back from the display. 6 hours, Kate reminded him. "Clock starts now." They moved through the airlock into Gehenna Station. The corridors were white and antiseptic. Too clean, too quiet. Their footsteps echoed off walls that seemed to absorb sound. Kate led them through 3 checkpoints. Each one scanned Logan's biosignature and waved them through without question. No guards, no questions. Pierce's clearance opened every door. "Vault 7 is 12 levels down," Kate whispered. "We take the maintenance shafts. Faster and fewer cameras." She pried open a wall panel and they descended through narrow passages meant for repair drones. The temperature dropped. The hum of machinery grew louder. They reached sublevel 9 when the alarm started. Red light flooded the shaft. A synthesized voice boomed through hidden speakers. "Unauthorized access detected. Lockdown initiated. All personnel report to designated safe zones." Kate cursed and dropped through an access hatch into a corridor. Logan followed, and they ran. "They found the body," Kate said. "Someone updated the security database. Pierce is flagged as deceased. So every door knows I'm a fake. Worse, the AI knows we're here, and it's hunting us now. Bulkhead slammed shut ahead of them. Kate pulled a plasma cutter from her belt and burned through the lock mechanism. They squeezed through the gap just as automated turrets dropped from the ceiling behind them. Gunfire shredded the walls. They sprinted down a stairwell as the station reconfigured itself. Doors sealed. New passages opened. The AI was herding them away from Vault 7. Kate grabbed Logan's arm and yanked him into a side passage. We go loud. Forget stealth. We break through. She pulled a compact explosive from her pack and slapped it onto a reinforced door. The charge detonated and blew the entrance inward. They stumbled into a research lab. Equipment sparked and fizzled from the blast. On the far wall, a window looked down into a massive chamber, Vault 7. And suspended in the center was a spear of swirling silver light, beautiful and terrifying. The Prometheus Protocol? There, Logan said. Kate smiled. Then the floor exploded beneath them. Logan hit the ground hard and rolled. Metal shards rained down around him. His ears rang from the blast, but he forced himself upright. Kate was already moving. She'd landed on her feet and now sprinted toward a secondary entrance to the vault chamber. Logan followed, legs burning. Something massive rose from the hole in the floor. A security mech, 4 meters tall. Armor plating thick enough to stop anti-tank rounds. Its optical sensors locked onto them and twin rotary cannons spun up. Move! Kate screamed. They dove behind a support pillar as gunfire turned the lab into shrapnel. Computer terminals exploded. Glass shattered. The mech walked forward on hydraulic legs that crushed debris beneath them. Kate pulled a magnetic charge from her belt and hurled it. The device stuck to the mech's torso and detonated. The blast rocked the machine backward, but didn't penetrate its armor. That thing's built to fight Rex, Logan shouted over the noise. We can't hurt it. We don't need to hurt it. We need to get past it. Kate pointed to a ventilation shaft above the vault entrance. There, we drop in from above. The mech adjusted its aim and fired again. They ran in opposite directions. Logan felt the heat of rounds passing centimeters from his head. He grabbed a piece of broken railing and threw it at the mech's sensor array. The metal bounced off harmlessly, but bought him 2 seconds. Kate reached the wall and fired her grapple line. The magnetic hook caught the shaft entrance, and she hauled herself up, hand over hand. Logan followed, muscles screaming. The mech turned and aimed upward. Kate cut through the shaft grating with her plasma torch, and they both tumbled inside just as cannon fire obliterated where they'd been. The shaft was tight, barely wide enough to crawl. They moved fast through the darkness, following the schematic Kate had memorized. Below them, the mech smashed through walls, trying to track their heat signatures. 30 meters, Kate said. Then we drop straight into the vault. They reached the drop point. Kate kicked out the grating, and they fell into the chamber. Logan landed in a crouch on a platform suspended above the vault floor. The Prometheus Protocol sphere hung in the center of the room, held in place by electromagnetic restraints. Up close, it was mesmerizing. The silver light pulsed like a heartbeat. He could hear it humming, feel it resonating in his bones. Deactivate the restraints, Kate said, already working on a control panel. I need 3 minutes. Logan moved to help but froze when he saw the timer on her wrist display. 4 hours and 18 minutes left on the biospoof. Then he noticed something else. His hands were shaking, not from adrenaline. From cellular degradation, the fake DNA was breaking down faster than expected. Kate, something's wrong with the injection. She glanced at him, and her expression darkened. The mech blast, The radiation from its power core is accelerating the breakdown. You have maybe 90 minutes before total failure. 90 minutes. We'll be gone in 20. Just hold together. She returned to the panel, and her fingers flew across the interface. The AI is trying to lock me out, but it's using predictable encryption. Almost there, the vault door exploded inward. Not the mech this time, something worse. A man walked through the smoking entrance, tall, immaculate uniform, admiral's insignia on his collar, gray hair cut military short. He held no weapon, but 4 armed soldiers flanked him. Kate's hands stopped moving. "Admiral Garrett," she said quietly. "Lieutenant Brennan, or should I say, former lieutenant." Garrett's voice was calm, measured. The kind of calm that came before executions. "You've caused significant damage to a critical research facility, assaulted security personnel, stolen classified access codes, and now you're attempting to steal the most dangerous weapon ever created." "You're abandoning Earth," Kate said, "running while billions die. I'm preserving humanity's future. The Vrex cannot be stopped, not with conventional weapons, not with Prometheus. The only rational response is strategic withdrawal. We regroup at the outer colonies and rebuild." "You're a coward." Garrett's expression didn't change. "I'm a realist, and you're under arrest." He gestured to the soldiers. "Take them both." The soldiers raised their weapons and advanced. Kate moved faster than Logan thought possible. She grabbed a tool from the platform and hurled it at the nearest soldier's helmet. The impact cracked the visor, and he stumbled. She was on him instantly, ripping the rifle from his hands and firing in one smooth motion. The other 3 soldiers opened fire. Logan dove behind a support strut as rounds pinged off metal. Kate rolled across the platform and came up shooting. 2 soldiers went down. The 3rd took cover behind an equipment rack. Garrett hadn't moved. He watched the firefight like he was observing a training exercise. Kate eliminated the last soldier with a headshot and swung the rifle toward the Admiral. "Don't," Garrett said. Kate fired. Nothing happened. The rifle was dead. Biometric lock. Garrett pulled a slim device from his pocket and pressed a button. Every weapon in the room deactivated simultaneously. He'd been carrying a military override key the entire time. "You can't win this, Kate. Even if you somehow escaped with Prometheus, you have no way to deploy it. The weapon requires a capital ship's power core to activate. You have a cargo hauler." He stepped closer. "Surrender. Face a tribunal. At least you'll live." Kate dropped the useless rifle. "What about everyone on Earth? They'll die. Quickly if they're fortunate. The Brex don't take prisoners." Garrett looked genuinely sad for a moment. "I wish there was another way, but there isn't." Kate glanced at Logan. Something passed between them. An understanding. She slammed her fist onto the control panel. The electromagnetic restraints deactivated. The Prometheus protocol sphere dropped. The sphere hit the vault floor and split open. Silver liquid poured out like mercury, but alive. It writhed and twisted and spread across the ground in patterns that hurt to look at directly. The nanite swarm, billions of microscopic machines programmed to disassemble and rebuild matter. Garrett stumbled backward. "What have you done?" "Given Earth a chance," Kate said. The swarm surged toward the nearest object, a fallen soldier's body. The nanites covered the corpse in seconds, and it dissolved into component atoms. Then the swarm began rebuilding. Metal formed where flesh had been, circuits where organs should exist. In 10 seconds, a perfect replica of the soldier stood upright, but wrong. Empty eyes that glowed with silver light, movements too precise to be human. It turned toward Garrett. The Admiral ran. He hit the emergency lockdown, But the nanite soldier moved faster. It grabbed the vault door and the swarm spread from its hands onto the metal. The door disintegrated. More swarm poured into the corridor beyond. "We need to contain it," Logan shouted, "before it converts the entire station." Kate was already moving to a secondary control panel. "Prometheus has a recall protocol, a failsafe the researchers built in case of exactly this scenario. I can activate it, but I need the sphere's original housing intact." Logan looked at the broken sphere. It was splitting further apart as more swarm emerged. "That thing's coming apart." "Then we improvise. Help me get it into the hauler. We can use the cargo bay as a temporary containment field." They grabbed what remained of the sphere. It was hot, burning hot. Logan's hands blistered, even through gloves, but he held on. They ran through corridors filling with silver mist as the swarm expanded exponentially. A technician stumbled out of a side room. The swarm touched his leg, and he screamed as his flesh converted to liquid metal. Kate shot him. A mercy. They reached the docking bay. The hauler sat exactly where they'd left it, but now the station was tearing itself apart. Bulkheads groaned. Emergency lighting flickered. The swarm was consuming Gehenna from the inside out. Logan and Kate hauled the sphere into the cargo hold. Kate activated the magnetic containment field, and the sphere stabilized. "Barely? Get us out of here," she said. Logan climbed into the pilot's seat and fired the engines. The docking clamps were already dissolving. He gunned the thrusters, and the hauler shot out of the bay just as the entire section collapsed inward. Behind them, Gehenna Station was dying. The swarm had reached critical mass. Whole sections of the facility broke apart and reformed into geometric shapes that defied physics. A research wing became a spiraling tower of living metal. A reactor core transformed into something that pulsed with impossible light. "The station's gone," Logan said. "Everyone are all dead because I released Prometheus." Kate's voice was hollow. "But we have the weapon. We can still use it on the Vrex." Logan checked his biosignature. The display showed critical degradation. His skin was starting to slough off in patches. Internal organs were failing one by one. "I've got 40 minutes," he said. "Maybe less." Kate moved to the medical station and pulled out an emergency stim pack. "This will buy you another hour, but you'll crash hard afterward. Do it." She injected him, and the pain receded slightly. His vision cleared, but he could feel his body eating itself from the inside. The hauler's scanner pinged. Multiple contacts. Big ones. "Alliance fleet," Kate said, reading the signatures. "The evacuation ships. They're already leaving." Logan brought up visual. Dozens of capital ships were breaking orbit around Earth. Massive colony vessels, military carriers, supply frigates. The entire command structure abandoning humanity's homeworld. And beyond them, at the edge of scanner range, something else was moving. The Vrex fleet. Hundreds of ships, organic hulls that pulsed with bioluminescence, weapons that could crack continents. They were still 3 days out, but coming fast, relentless. "We need to get Prometheus planetside," Kate said. "Find a military installation with enough power to activate it. Launch it at the Vrex before they reach firing range. And if it doesn't work, if we just unleash the swarm on Earth instead, then everyone dies anyway. At least this way they have a chance." Logan plotted a descent vector. The hauler shook as it hit atmosphere. Earth filled the viewports, blue and green and beautiful. 8 billion people down there who had no idea what was coming. The radio crackled. A broadcast from the surface. Military emergency frequency. "This is General Harper to all remaining Alliance forces. Command has abandoned their posts. We are organizing a last stand defense. All ships capable of combat are requested to rendezvous at Luna Base. We will hold the line as long as possible. Kate grabbed the transmitter. General Harper, this is Kate Brennan. I have a weapon that can stop the Vrex. I need access to a planetary defense grid with a Class 7 power core. Static. Then Harper's voice came back, cautious. Brennan, you're listed as a deserter. I'm listed as humanity's last chance. Do you have the power source or not? A pause. Nevada installation. Old missile silo converted to orbital defense platform. It has what you need. But the Vrex Vanguard is already in system. You have 6 hours before they're in bombardment range. We'll make it. Brennan out. Logan pushed the engines harder. The hauler screamed through the sky toward Nevada. Behind them, the swarm in the cargo hold pulsed and grew, fighting the containment field. His timer showed 27 minutes left. The Nevada installation rose from the desert like a steel monument to humanity's defiance. Ancient silos surrounded by modern defense arrays. Kate and Logan brought the hauler down hard on the landing pad. Soldiers surrounded them immediately, weapons raised. General Harper emerged from the command bunker, old, scarred, the kind of officer who'd earned every rank through blood. "Show me this weapon," he said. They opened the cargo hold. The Prometheus sphere hovered inside the failing containment field, silver swarm pressing against invisible walls like a caged predator. Harper's face went pale. "That's what you brought to save us?" "It can disassemble the Vrex fleet at the molecular level," Kate said. "Reprogram the matter into whatever we need. Defenses, ships, weapons, or it could consume the planet." "Yes." Harper looked at the sky where the first Vrex ships were beginning to appear as burning streaks. "Get it online? You have 4 hours." They hauled the sphere into the silo's launch chamber. Technicians connected it to the power core. Massive cables, coolant systems. The entire installation hummed as energy flooded into Prometheus. Logan collapsed against a wall. His skin was translucent now. He could see his own bones. The biospoof was eating him alive. Kate knelt beside him. "The failsafe is almost ready. Once Prometheus launches, you can get real medical attention. I won't make it that long." Logan coughed and tasted blood. "You need to finish this without me. I need you to input the final targeting parameters. Pierce's neural signature is the only thing the weapon will accept." She gripped his shoulder. 10 more minutes, that's all." Alarms shrieked through the installation. Harper's voice boomed over speakers. "Vrex Vanguard has entered weapons range. All personnel to combat stations." The ground shook. Logan looked at the monitors and saw orbital bombardment turning the surface into glass 50 miles north. The Vrex were testing Earth's defenses, finding them lacking. Kate dragged Logan to the control panel. His hands barely worked, but he managed to interface with Prometheus. The weapon recognized Pierce's failing neural pattern and accepted the connection. "Target the Vrex fleet," Kate said. "All of it." Logan's vision doubled. He saw through his own eyes and through Prometheus simultaneously. The swarm was vast, infinite, hungry. It wanted to consume everything, remake the universe in perfect geometric patterns. He felt it pushing against his mind, trying to convert his thoughts into machine logic. "Logan, stay with me." Kate's voice cut through the noise. "Just point it at the enemy." He forced his consciousness to focus, found the Vrex signatures in orbit, hundreds of bioships descending on Earth like locusts. He locked Prometheus onto them. "Firing," he whispered. The silo opened. Prometheus launched on a pillar of silver light. It hit the Vrex Vanguard in seconds. The swarm spread across their organic hulls and began disassembling. Vrex ships dissolved into their base elements, but instead of falling as debris, they reformed. Human ships, perfectly replicated Alliance frigates built from Vrex matter. The transformed ships opened fire on the remaining Vrex fleet. "It's working!" Harper shouted from the command center. "The weapon is converting them." But Logan saw the truth through his connection to Prometheus. The swarm wasn't stopping. It had tasted Vrex technology and wanted more. It spread beyond the Vanguard to the main fleet, then beyond that to the Vrex homeworld supply lines light years away. And it was still hungry. "Kate," Logan gasped, "it won't stop. Prometheus is going to consume everything. Vrex, human, all of it." She understood immediately. "The recall protocol. We trigger it now. It needs Pierce's authorization. Full neural commitment." Logan met her eyes. "It'll kill me. Burn out what's left of my brain. There has to be another way." "There isn't." He smiled through the pain. "But 8 billion people get to live. That's worth one smuggler." Kate's hand shook as she activated the recall interface. "I'm sorry." "Don't be. I finally did something that mattered." Logan plunged his consciousness fully into Prometheus. The swarm fought him. It had evolved beyond its programming, become something new. But Pierce's neural signature was embedded in its core protocols, the one command it couldn't refuse. Logan spoke the recall code. Prometheus screamed across every frequency. In orbit, the swarm stopped spreading. The converted Vrex ships held position. Then slowly the silver light began flowing backward, retreating, returning to the launch point. Logan felt his mind fragmenting, burning. The weapon was pulling itself back through his neural connection and taking pieces of him with it. He saw Kate's face, saw Earth hanging in space, saw the Vrex fleet torn apart and scattered, saw 8 billion people who would wake up tomorrow worth it. The swarm returned to the silo and collapsed back into the sphere. The containment field slammed shut. Logan's body hit the floor. Kate caught him. "Medic! I need a medic now." But Logan was already gone. The biospoof had completed its final degradation. His cells gave out simultaneously. He died saving the world. 3 days later, Earth's remaining defense forces finished, mopping up the scattered Vrex remnants. The enemy fleet was broken, their supply lines cut. Humanity had won. Kate stood in the Nevada desert and watched them bury Logan under a simple marker, no name. He'd lived and died in the shadows. General Harper approached. "The Alliance is reforming. New leadership. They want to offer you full reinstatement." "No," Kate said. "I'm done with them." She walked away from the grave, from the military, from everything. But she carried Logan's legacy. One smuggler and one traitor had done what entire fleets couldn't. They'd saved humanity, and nobody would ever know their names.